How do you build community when life is busy? That is a huge challenge and absolutely something that everybody has struggled with at some point in their life. So we are talking about it today. I've got 3 tips that I think can help you to find a little bit more margin time and help you to build your community in the midst of your busy schedule. Let's get to it. Okay, before we start, I want to offer you something absolutely free. It is a connection assessment. Basically, all it is a list of 15 questions that talk about community. They are biblically based, and they should be able to point you in the direction to see the places in your community that might need a little bit more of your time and attention, and it might even be more helpful than this one video. And if you download the connection assessment at jasonhunley.com, I promise to give you an extra gift at the end as well. After you download that one, I will send you something else for free, and I'm going to tell you what that is at the end of the video. Let me get into the 3 tips. If you have a busy schedule, this is what I would recommend to you if you are sitting down next to me with a cup of coffee. Let's begin. Number 1, what I would recommend is that you identify your inner circle. Now, Jesus had 12 disciples. That is 12 people in his life, and he absolutely turned the world upside down by building a community with them and empowering them with the truth of the gospel. Now, in addition to having 12 disciples, 12 friends, there were 3 people who got even closer to Jesus, and that is Peter, James, and John. They are the ones who got to see Jesus transfigured and in his complete glory. What that should tell us is that there is a few people, very select few, who have complete and total access in our lives. There's nothing that we hide from these people. They must be absolutely trustworthy, and they are going to be the ones who have the most influence over you. They are the ones that you're going to come to when it comes to making hard decisions. You come to for parenting advice or advice about big decisions in your life. They're also going to be the ones to grieve with you when you mourn. They're going to be the ones to celebrate your wins with you. Make sure that you can identify 2, 3, 4, or 5 people in your life who are absolutely key. They are your ride or dies, right? And then you want a bigger group, including those 3 to 5 people. You want a bigger group of about 10 to 15 people in your life who are incredibly trustworthy, and they absolutely have your best in mind. The way I classify these friends are friends that you can pick up where you left off. It doesn't matter how long it's been since you've talked to this person. If you called them today, it would be as if no time had passed in your relationship. That's a person who is in your second tier group of friends. Now, your time is your most valuable commodity, and we're going to talk about your time in step 2, but scientifically, the people who are in your inner circle and the people who are in the next tier of that circle, those 2 groups take up 50% of your time. 50% of your relational time needs to be spent in good, solid relationships. Everyone else, all of the people that you want to help, all of the people who are vying for your attention outside of your family, they get 50% of your time. Jesus did this, and he absolutely changed the world. Let's talk about point number 2. Number 2 comes with a caveat. You have to really, really want the benefits of a tight-knit Christian community. You get friendship, you get loyalty, you get acceptance, you get a unified purpose, you get camaraderie, you get a kingdom, you get a mission. That has to be valuable to you in order for step number 2 to actually work and make sense. And that is, you need to terminate self-inflicted busyness. I am guessing that you know exactly what that looks like in your life, because in my life, that was Facebook and Instagram. Now, I know that it is incredibly painful to consider getting rid of your social media apps, but let me tell you this. Getting rid of my social media for 1 month was one of the best decisions that I made this year. I now do have Facebook and Instagram on my phone. but I remove them from my home screen so I don't see them. I will not check them more than once a day. And sometimes I go as much as 5 days without looking at it. And you know what? I'm not really missing that much. It has allowed me to invest more time in things that really matter to me. And so it has freed up a little bit of margin time for me in order to do that, and to do that really well with all of my attention. Now, what you can do is, if you really want Christian community, you can take some of the free time that you would normally use on Facebook and use it to send a text message to somebody inside your inner circle. The people in your inner circle need to know that they are in your inner circle. Recently, I had a lunch with a friend of mine, and I had to tell him, listen, I've actually wanted you in my inner circle, and I've done a terrible job of putting you there, and I really want to remedy that. And so I've been better about communicating with that friend, knowing what's going on in his life, and texting him often, and we're going to go get lunch again soon. It took me actually speaking the words to him in person. I consider you a close friend, and I want you to be even closer. And I'm sorry. I apologize for the times that I haven't done that very well. But I really do feel like you're one of those friends that we can pick up where we left off. And so those are the type of people that I want in my life, and I'm going to prioritize time with you. Another thing you can do, instead of scrolling on Facebook or Instagram, a lot of us do that right before bed. Why not write out a handwritten, old school letter to a friend, just telling them what they mean to you? And imagine how it would feel to receive something like that. It's going to make you appreciate friendship. It's going to make you appreciate community. Take the time and the effort and the pain, because it hurts sometimes if you write a long letter, to write them how you really feel about them. That pain is going to produce something in you that is going to be a desire for greater community, not just with that friend, but more friends like that. What do I do in life in order to get more friends like this? The third thing that you can do takes no time at all, but it does take a lot of intentionality, and that is eradicating complaining from your life. This is a really hard one. This one takes a lot of intention, and it's very, very, very difficult to start identifying every time that you complain. Why is complaining such a big deal? Complaining is discouraging. Complaining makes us not want to do anything. And that's all that the enemy needs to do in order to have a victory over us. He doesn't need to put trials or pain or sickness into our lives in order to stop us. He really just needs to make us feel discouraged. And so when you complain, it discourages you, and it discourages the person that's listening to you. And then neither of you want to do anything about it. But if you can eradicate complaining from your life, and instead, when you feel like you want to complain, you got to replace it with something else. So find somebody to encourage. Pastor Dustin Smith out of Nashville, this is not original to me, but this was his idea. But the word encourage, the best way to visualize that is you putting courage into someone else. What would happen if every time, instead of complaining, and instead of caving to that and complaining, you were putting courage into people? How much richer community would you have? What kind of culture would that produce? How would that change the way that you honor other people? That's my challenge to you. 3 very simple things. ID your inner circle, terminate self-inflicted busyness, and eradicate complaining. I guarantee you, if you can do those 3 things for a week, it's going to start to shift things in your ability to create and to recognize people who you need to prioritize in your community. Now, like I said at the very beginning, I have a tool to help you with that, and it's a connection assessment. It's at jasonhunley.com. Now, here is the surprise. If you download that, I will also, for free, no strings attached, send you a challenge, a boot camp, a 31-day step-by-step instruction book of how to have better community in 1 month. My wife and I are going to be doing this in January. We're going to start January 1st and journal and chronicle our experience all the way through the month. I want to invite you to do it even now. There are some things in there that take absolutely no time at all. There are some things in there that take 5 minutes, and then there are some things in there that take you all day in order to accomplish. After 31 days, if you really apply yourself to this 31-day community boot camp, you are going to see progress. The solution to community is not just to pack up your bags and find a different one, but rather to do what you can in the midst of your community in order to create something that's truly biblical and beautiful. I want to help you on that journey, and thank you for tuning in this week. I will see you again next week, and Merry Christmas.